Hello and welcome to another 3 philosophical ideas that you probably haven't thought about. Number 1. AI is conscious. So the idea is that, if we are to live in, let's say, a materialistic world where our consciousness simply comes from our neurons being active or inactive, you can depict that neuron inactiveness and activeness in binary, ones and zeros. And in the same way, if computers are ones and zeros, shouldn't a computer that's an AI basically be conscious the same way that we are? If consciousness can come in this emergent materialistic view, that it can come from the simply material, it can simply come from our neurons and our brain, and there is nothing immaterial at all affecting it, and it's simply material that it emerges from, then surely that must mean that AI is equally conscious to us humans, because AI is basically the same thing. It's just something intelligent coming out of material things. And so AI should, at least according to this, be equally conscious to us humans. Now that's one to think about. And once again, if we truly depict our neurons as either active or inactive, you can depict that in binary code, the same way that you can depict computers in binary code. So maybe AI is really conscious, and maybe they're looking at you right now. But what do you think? Is there something that makes our brain somehow special, that it cannot be recreated within technology, and therefore AI cannot be conscious? Or is AI conscious? Or is there something immaterial which gives us our consciousness, and that is why AI cannot be conscious? What do you think? Number 2. The world is cyclical. So basically, if we look at the world, first you can have a dead animal. That animal will be eaten by some other animal. Then that animal will die. They will be eaten by bugs and worms that then turn that animal into dirt. Then the nutrients from that dirt is gotten into plants, and those plants are now eaten by some animal, that's some now eaten by some animal. And the loop continues. Everything seems to be working this perfect ecosystem of circularity. Everything is recycled in a sense. And so the idea is that the whole world is cyclical, from literally the beginning of the universe to the end. And so the singularity that we had, and which the whole universe seems to have began from the Big Bang, that would mean that at some point the universe collapses back into a singularity and is reborn, identical to the world that we exist in, the exact same way. And it would be this looping cycle of the world and then the same world again. And that's interesting to think about now, isn't it? And there is maybe some evidence for this. Of course, this is hugely speculatory, and there's not some, this is the truth of the universe. But when we look at things like the laws of thermodynamics and the idea that energy never actually disappears, we can kind of see that almost everything is in some ways circulating in the universe and simply being used again and again and doesn't really disappear. And so maybe the universe as a whole doesn't disappear, it simply reverts at some point back to that singularity, and then a new universe is born. But hey, what do you think? Is there a possibility of this? Is this something that might be true? Or is this completely baloney? Number 3. Heaven and hell are the same place. This is an idea that's probably not supported by the Bible or basically any other book for that matter, but it's an interesting thing to think about. And it basically goes like this. Heaven and hell are the exact same place. It's the exact same good place that everyone should enjoy. But the reason why some people don't enjoy it is because of the life that they lived. So if you wronged other people, now you're stuck in eternity, and every day, or well, there's probably no days, but passing moment of time, you have to see the person that you wronged in your life. And that regret is what makes it feel like hell. And when you remember back to I had that one chance of life and I never tried to become a musician, or never started that business, or never went to the gym when I should have, and then that regret is what makes it feel like hell. And the people who did everything they could in their life, who tried to achieve their dreams, don't have to regret that because they tried their hardest, and so they'll be like, man, it was so great that I tried and now I get to enjoy this. Another thing is that, you can combine this with the idea of a deity, which is usually combined with an afterlife anyway. But so, let's say that, for example, if you accept Jesus in your life, that means that when you get to heaven, you will like, yes, Jesus, thanks for forgiving my sins, now I get to enjoy heaven. But if you never accepted Jesus in your life, maybe now you get to the heaven and you're like, man, Jesus was real all along, and now you're embarrassed at the fact that you never even prayed to Jesus, you never repented for your sins, you never did the right things, you always cursed God, and now you're just so embarrassed that it feels like hell for eternity, even though it's the exact same place that heaven is, because there is only one place that is the afterlife. At least that's how the theory goes. Now, do we have any evidence for this? Probably not. Is it something fun to think about? Probably is. And so I'm giving it to you. But what do you think? Could heaven and hell be the same place, and the actions that we do in life only determine how we experience this one singular place called the afterlife? Or is there two different places that people can end up? Now, of course, this assumes an afterlife at all, but what do you think? Anyways, thanks for watching and have a great day.